Io sono Daniele Buzzuro, sempre fan, una domanda per il signor Norton. Noi sappiamo che lui è un grande attore, ha interpretato tantissimi film e quello che mi interessava capire era qual era il film, il personaggio in particolare che gli era piaciuto di più interpretare e come lega i sentimenti che gli ha lasciato questo personaggio con il personaggio che interpreta in questo film. Grazie.
Thanks. I think that I think that generally speaking, you know, any actors are drawn to playing characters that are complex. You know, I think that's a pretty safe statement to make about most people, and that's certainly true for me. I think the things that I've gotten to work on over time that I found to be a really rich experience or a satisfying experience involve characters that straddle paradoxes, you know, that are hard to reduce to a certain category, or even who are contradictory in some ways. And I think people and the ways that they are contradictory are often the most interesting things about all of us. And that definitely applied here. I thought that what I liked about what Tony had written in sort of this triangle between my character and Jeremy's and Rachel's was that it was really a portrait, even amidst all the action and all the sort of the spy thriller of it all. Each of those three people has made decisions that were, on the one hand, based in a certain set of ideals. They have a sense of themselves as serving a positive purpose, a noble purpose, a patriotic purpose, and yet each of them has made compromises or accepted that they're going to do things that don't specifically fall within the category of what we would call good. And so, and that was in the script that Tony gave us. It was very clear that each of these characters was in some ways equally had a history of having talked themselves in one way or another, rationalized what they're doing to be able to do it. And so that I thought that was very interesting, the idea of people who are all doing bad things in the name of something that they believe is a larger good, and that interests me because I think that a lot of what we would call what happens in the world that we would call bad comes because people tell themselves that they're serving that they're doing the bad for some higher good, and those rationalizations are very real in the culture that we're all living in today. And I think, as Tony said, even though this is a series of films that have a lot of action and they're a lot of fun, I think he's very right that the Bourne films, I think the particular reason people have been drawn to these films is that they've been portraying a world that we all sort of feel like really is out there. I mean, Mission Impossible or the Bond films, these are fantasies, really. These are not cartoons in a negative sense, but they are just superheroes in some sense. But the Bourne films, I think, have always lived in the world that we're all a little bit afraid actually does exist, and that I think we're all afraid that there are people out there in our government and in our corporate culture that are telling themselves that these things that they're doing in our name are good things, and there's kind of an electricity to that idea. There's an electricity to the idea that these moral debates are going on among people who think they're serving all of us, and I like that. I think it sets these movies right in the time that we're living in, because I think, you know, even as we were making the film, you know, this debate over the morality of Predator drones and the way that the U.S. is using Predator drones is raging. You know, on the front pages of the New York Times, the whole idea of extrajudicial killing, all of this stuff is taking place. It's a very real part of our social debate right now. So I think that part of the, as an actor, part of the fun of it is trying to portray psychologically how do people get themselves to the point that they're willing to do these.